Good evening, everybody. Um, so, those of you who have been following the Lisk case, Lisk standing for the Long Island serial killer, um, if you've been deeply following, which a lot of people are, too many to enumerate, um, you know about Tanya Jackson and baby Tatiana. And for those who do not know, I'm going to tell you very briefly. Tanya Jackson's dismembered body, absent of head and extremities, was found in a one of those uh, plastic rubber bins, like a Rubbermaid bin, somewhere around Hempstead Lake Park in Suffolk, Nassau County, rather, New York. And this was back in 1997. Fast forward to 2010, I think some of her extremities were found along Gilgo Beach. And then a baby, about 2 years old, was also found miles down, or was, if I'm not mistaken, I think the extremities were found on Jones Beach, and her daughter, about 2 years old, was found on Gilgo Beach. And so in between them, there was like, I want to say, 8 other remains of humans. And so Tatiana, who was found in the bin, and her baby, they acted as, they were like bookends, you know, between the other 8 remains of humans. Um, so again, her torso was found in a bin in 1997. Fast forward to 2010, her extremities, her head was never found, but her extremities were found along with her daughter. So, um, people have been speculating all these years since 2010 that Rex had something to do. That Tanya and her baby were victims of the Long Island serial killer. I mean, rightfully so to suspect it. I suspected it, but I just couldn't, I just couldn't envision the connection between Tanya and Rex, how they would ever cross paths. Because Tanya was not a sex worker, as we know. She's an Army vet, and, she had a regular job. She had a car and everything else. And so I just couldn't connect the dots. Well, uh, for the longest, for many years, actually, it was just in recent years, maybe 2 years ago, they found out the name of Tanya. Up until 2 or 3 years ago, from 1997, she was known as Peaches because she had a tattoo of peaches on her torso. And they just, through DNA, they gave Tanya and her baby back her name. Prior to that, when they found, through DNA, they connected the torso in the Rubbermaid bin and the extremities. They knew that belonged to Peaches. And then they matched DNA from the baby that was found and realized that was Peaches' baby. And then about 2 years ago or so, they were able to give them back their names. Tanya was from Alabama. How she ended up in Brooklyn, who knows? Why she would stay in Brooklyn and not go back down south or go anyplace else other than Brooklyn, I don't know. It's where she made her home. Long story short, They just arrested the father of Tatiana. He's currently in Florida. They arrested him. Today's the 7th. About 3 days ago, he's due to be extradited back to New York tomorrow or so for her murder. Again, she was found in 1997. Well, what this does is it just, I'm sure, has baffled, has us true crime followers confused about all of this. I need to know more about Andrew Dykes. Because, for one, is he from New York? Is he a New Yorker? I need to know that. Because if you're not a New Yorker, how the heck do you know about Gilgo Beach? Now, understand that Long Island, where Gilgo Beach and Jones Beach are, actually it's the same beach. It's just Jones Beach in Nassau County and Gilgo Beach in Suffolk County. Long Island only has 2 counties. I'm speaking to those of you who are not from New York. And actually, way back in the day, as you know, New York has 5 boroughs: Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Bronx, and Staten Island. Queens, all of Long Island used to be Queens. But they separated at some point, don't ask me the year, way back when. And so Queens is a borough, and then Long Island is of itself and not a part of the 5 boroughs anymore. And Long Island only has 2 counties, Nassau and Suffolk. Just to give you a little bit of history. But if you're not from New York, how would you know about Gilgo Beach? You know, I'm born and raised in Queens. I spent a lot of time out on Long Island. I graduated from Adelphi University. I graduated from Nassau Community College. My aunt has had a house out there since God knows when. I spent plenty of summers there. When I was going to Adelphi University, I lived with her. I remember I had a temporary job at the post office, and I think I worked from like 12 midnight to 6 in the morning, and me and this coworker used to go and sleep on Jones Beach during the day, the whole damn day, leave about 5 o'clock, go home, you know, take a shower, maybe nap a little bit more, and get back to work by midnight. I've never heard of Gilgo Beach, and I didn't do too much in Suffolk County anyway. I rarely went there. So, I need to know, is he a New Yorker? And even if you're from the 5 boroughs, you still, and if you don't have any family out in Long Island, you really wouldn't know how to get around out there. You know, or in terms of where to hide a body. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, let's suppose you're not from Kentucky, right? Never been to Kentucky. If you went and decided to kill somebody in Kentucky and you wanted to hide the body, would you know where was a good place in Kentucky to hide a body that would never be found? No, because you're not from Kentucky. You don't know the area. You wouldn't have a clue. So I'm baffled by all of this, as I'm sure many others are. But let me just say this, and then I'm going to go. I mean no insult to Long Islanders. I really don't. And it's not everybody on Long Island. But A lot of people on Long Island are very strange. Yes, they are. I can't really articulate it for you. Just suffice it enough to say that a lot of people on Long Island are strange. And when I say a lot, it's enough strange people for people to notice. So I had to remind myself of this because this whole Tanya and Tatiana case is very strange. And because Long Island is a place with strange people, I shouldn't be so surprised that strange shit is happening. That's pretty much all I want to say in this video. Just understand that people on Long Island are very strange. So don't rack your brain. Don't let this keep you up all night trying to solve it and make sense. Just understand that more than enough people on Long Island are strange. So expect strange stuff to happen. Stuff that makes no sense. Stuff that is like a brain teaser to the 50th power. Don't sweat it. Suffice it enough to comprehend that people on Long Island are strange, so expect strange things to happen. And that, my dear, is my public service announcement to all the true crime followers of Lisk. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, or if you doubt what I'm saying, you do know by now that in the 90s, there were 4 active serial killers at one time, including Rex Heuermann. Now, if you don't think that's strange, if you don't believe that, people on Long Island are strange, that right there should tell it all to you. Okay? All right. You be blessed, stay safe, and get some rest. Peace.